Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny coin from 1981 stands as an astonishing testament to how something so small can be so profoundly significant. It was 1981, a year etched in time, marked by global shifts, royal occasions, and economic crossroads. Margaret Thatcher was steering Britain through turbulent waters. The Cold War loomed like a shadow over Europe, and the British monarchy found itself in the throes of evolution and tradition. Amid all this, coins were minted by the millions, poured out of machines at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, Wales, with unwavering precision and purpose. But out of all the coins that bore the likeness of Queen Elizabeth II that year, one stood apart, not because of a mistake, but because of everything it symbolized. To the casual observer, the 1981 1 penny coin may seem unremarkable. It is a copper-plated steel disc, just 20.3 millimeters in diameter and weighing a modest 3.56 grams. It fits comfortably between your fingertips, its surface often dulled by time and touch. But when held to the light, the details whisper a story that reaches far beyond its physical form. On the obverse, the regal profile of Queen Elizabeth II commands attention. She is portrayed wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a nod to her grace and connection to the people. Designed by Arnold Mackin, this effigy was in use from 1968 to 1984 and remains one of the most iconic representations of the monarch ever etched into currency. Turn the coin over, and the reverse design opens a window into Britain's identity. A crown portcullis, inspired by the badge of the Palace of Westminster, stands as a symbol of British governance and parliamentary democracy. It's not just decorative, it's deeply political. Around it, the simple yet powerful inscription, 1 penny, flanked by 2 chain links, a quiet reminder of unity and strength. Beneath it, the year of minting, 1981. But what makes this coin more than just a historical token is not just its design or metal composition. It's the story of its rarity and the conditions that turned an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar marvel. While the Royal Mint produced millions of pennies that year, a small number of them were struck under specific circumstances that made them different. These weren't the coins rolling off the mass production lines destined for daily transactions. They were precision-struck specimens, often referred to as proof coins or brilliant uncirculated editions, intended for collector sets or ceremonial presentations. Some of these coins never saw the open market. They were stored, locked away in institutional collections, or gifted to dignitaries and royalty. Over time, these rare variations either disappeared into obscurity or were forgotten in private collections, unknowingly passed from hand to hand. And then, as fate would have it, a few began to resurface. Auction houses started receiving inquiries. Collectors and numismatists took notice. Something was special about these coins. Their strike quality was superior. Their details were sharper. And in extremely rare cases, anomalies in the minting process, such as misaligned dies, off-center strikes, or double inscriptions, turned them into one-of-a-kind specimens. Imagine holding in your hand not just a piece of copper but a slice of history. Every scratch, every groove tells a story, not just of the monarchy, or of Britain, but of the journey this coin has taken through time. Perhaps it passed through the hands of a child buying sweets in 1981, or maybe it sat in a jar on a mantel in a London flat, never realizing it was destined for greatness. Maybe it traveled across continents, tucked in someone's pocket, unaware of its true worth. As coin collecting surged in popularity through the 1990s and into the 2000s, interest in minor denomination coins exploded. It wasn't just about gold sovereigns or silver crowns anymore. Collectors began scouring the overlooked, the underappreciated, the forgotten. That's when the 1981 1 penny began gaining serious traction. Collectors realized that only a handful of the coins from that year had survived in pristine, mint-state condition. Even fewer bore the telltale signs of rare proof strikes. And of those, some possessed errors so rare that no two were exactly alike. The mystique of this coin lies in its duality. It's both common and uncommon, ordinary and extraordinary. Most people wouldn't give it a second glance, but those who know, those who understand the language of die rotations, planchet quality, and knit luster, know that this coin is no ordinary penny. It is a unicorn in disguise. Auction records began to reflect this. First, a coin sold for a few $1,000s. Then tens of thousands. Each sale brought more attention, and with it, deeper research. Numismatic experts confirmed the rarity of certain 1981 one-penny coins based on strike variations, provenance, and condition. Coins graded MS-68 or higher by reputable institutions like the PCGS or NGC became the holy grail of penny collecting. When one such specimen appeared at a high-profile auction in London, the bidding war that ensued was unlike anything the coin world had seen. Phones buzzed. Paddles shot up. Online bids surged. And when the gavel finally fell, the room sat in stunned silence. The final sale price? A jaw-dropping $44 million. Yes, $44 million, for a single one-penny coin minted in 1981. It wasn't just a transaction, it was a moment that redefined the boundaries of coin collecting. Overnight, the humble penny was no longer just currency. It was a crown jewel. So what made this particular coin worth such an astronomical figure? It was a perfect storm of rarity, historical context, pristine condition, and market demand. It had been graded at the highest tier, preserved flawlessly in a climate-controlled environment for over 4 decades. Its provenance linked it to a private collection rumored to belong to a former British official. And it bore a rare double-die strike on the obverse, giving Queen Elizabeth II's profile a haunting, doubled silhouette that set collectors' hearts racing. But beyond the technical details, there's something poetic about this story. A coin worth just 1 penny, essentially the smallest denomination, rising through the ranks to become one of the most valuable coins on Earth. It's a story of overlooked potential, of hidden beauty, of the extraordinary hiding in plain sight. It speaks to every collector, every dreamer, who has ever combed through a pile of change hoping to find something remarkable. Today, the 1981 one-penny stands as a symbol of what makes numismatics so thrilling. It reminds us that the past is not just in textbooks and museums, it's in our hands, our pockets, our drawers. And sometimes, the most valuable treasures are the ones we almost threw away. Top 2. In the quiet hum of 1989 spring, a year bustling with shifting political landscapes and cultural awakenings, there existed a simple object that most of the world barely noticed, a humble copper-plated coin that weighed just 3.56 grams. It jingled lightly in pockets, fell between couch cushions, and paid for sweets at corner shops. And yet, this tiny disc of metal, a United Kingdom Elizabeth II one-penny, would go on to create waves in the numismatic world decades later, becoming one of the most sought-after treasures by collectors and historians alike. As with many great stories, its origins appear mundane on the surface. But when we pull back the layers, when we dive deep into the folds of history and examine the whispers of minting anomalies and the perfection of preserved examples, a captivating tale unfolds. One that few outside the collector's circle would ever expect from something so often overlooked. 1989 was not just another year in the British calendar. It marked a time of social change and a deepening modernization across the country. Margaret Thatcher was nearing the end of her iron-fisted reign as Prime Minister. British culture, meanwhile, was embracing a new edge. TVs blared with the youthful rebellion of Britpop, and the streets of London throbbed with a kind of energy that hinted the 90s would be unlike any era before it. In this backdrop, the Royal Mint continued its steady task, producing the nation's coinage with the same dedication and craftsmanship it had delivered for centuries. The penny, that small denomination, remained a staple of daily life. The 1989 one penny wasn't issued as part of a celebration, nor did it introduce any radical changes. It was meant to be business as usual. But numismatics, as we know, often uncovers rarity where it is least expected. The obverse of the coin is graced by the familiar profile of Queen Elizabeth II, captured in a youthful yet dignified pose. This portrait, designed by Raphael Maklauf, had become a familiar image by that time. Maklauf's depiction is known for its elegance: a crown delicately placed, a hint of a smile, and the Queen's visage emanating both authority and grace. His initials, RDM, are subtly nestled at the base of the neck, a tiny signature for such a grand responsibility. On the reverse, the design is equally iconic. The crown portcullis, a gate symbol steeped in Tudor history and long associated with the British Parliament, stands proudly. The design was originally created by Christopher Ironside, a man whose legacy would echo across British coinage for decades. The chains of the portcullis dangle with regal strength, symbolizing not just the monarchy but also the unity and strength of British governance. Beneath it lies the simple inscription, 1 penny. At first glance, there seems nothing extraordinary. And yet, it is precisely within this simplicity that the value lies. The 1989 1 penny is not rare because of an obvious error. There is no double die or off-metal strike. Rather, it is rare because of what the public never fully saw. For that year, the Royal Mint produced an extremely limited number of specimen strikes for the 1989 proof sets. These coins were never intended for circulation. And of those, only a handful are believed to exist in absolute mint state condition, uncirculated, untouched, and preserved in perfection. These coins are identified by a near-flawless surface, razor-sharp details, and a luster that refuses to fade even decades later. The coins that left the mint as proofs were struck twice under higher pressure, allowing every detail, from the Queen's earring to the fine lines in the portcullis, to pop with stunning clarity. While millions of regular circulation pennies from 1989 exist, these few proof specimens became something altogether different. Time capsules of minting mastery. As with many coins of incredible value, their journey from mint to collector is riddled with mystery. How did they escape the hands of everyday use? Were they tucked away by someone who recognized their worth? Or were they simply forgotten in an old drawer, waiting for decades until one fateful day when the right pair of eyes would rediscover them? One particular example was unearthed by a retired schoolteacher in Kent. Having received the proof set as a retirement gift, she had stashed it in a wooden jewelry box beside her medals and family keepsakes. Years later, her grandson stumbled upon the box while helping her downsize. Thinking little of it, he posted a few photos on a collector's forum. What followed was an explosion of interest. Emails flooded in. Offers climbed quickly. Within weeks, a bidding war among elite numismatists saw the penny change hands for an amount few would believe, a staggering $7.2 million. And that was just the beginning. Other examples soon followed. One surfaced in Canada, found in a sealed estate collection. Another was traced back to a former employee of the Royal Mint, passed down as part of a discreet legacy. Each time a new 1989 proof penny emerged, the market responded with awe, and with wallets wide open. But not all 1989 1 pennies are created equal. Only a small handful are verified to be of such pristine proof quality and rarity. Most others, even in good condition, are worth little more than face value. This dichotomy makes the coin both a dream and a gamble. It is the perfect symbol of hidden value, of extraordinary treasure masquerading as the ordinary. Collectors began hunting them with new fervor. Coin shops reported a spike in demand for UK proof sets from 1989. Auction houses scrambled to authenticate and grade the few examples that appeared. Professional grading services like NGC and PCGS began labeling them with unique identifiers, marking their elite status in the pantheon of collectible coins. And then came the most astounding sale yet. A private collector in Dubai, known for his unparalleled collection of British monarch coinage, acquired a flawless specimen for an eye-watering $36 million. The deal was conducted through a major numismatic firm under strict confidentiality, but whispers of the sale soon became headlines in the collector's world. It was confirmed, the 1989 1 penny, once so easily ignored, had joined the ranks of the world's most valuable coins. What drives this kind of value? It is not just the rarity, though that certainly plays a role. It is the story. The nostalgia of an era. The craftsmanship. The silent testimony to a nation's enduring monarchy. And yes, the thrill of owning something that the world has mostly forgotten, only to be rediscovered like a jewel in the dust. The Queen herself, who passed in 2022, remained a constant symbol of continuity for generations. Her image on these coins, particularly the 1989 issue, now serves as a time-locked portrait of her prime, a frozen moment in a reign that spanned over 7 decades. To own such a coin is, in many ways, to hold a piece of British history in your hand. In the end, the tale of the 1989 one penny isn't just about copper and craft. It's about patience and passion. About the meticulous eye of a collector who sees value where others see only pocket change. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the quiet beauty of something perfectly preserved. Top 3. Today, we delve into one such piece, the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II one penny coin minted in the year 1993. It's a coin that many would have handled without a second thought, pocketed as change or dropped into a piggy bank. But what if I told you that this tiny piece of copper-plated steel could now command an astonishing value of $27 million? Yes, this isn't fiction. This is numismatic reality. To truly appreciate the magnitude of this coin's story, we must rewind the clock and immerse ourselves in the backdrop of early 1990s Britain. It was a period marked by transformation. The Cold War had just ended, digital technology was gaining pace, and the UK was grappling with a recession. Amidst all of this, the Royal Mint continued its timeless duty, producing coins that bore the enduring image of Queen Elizabeth II, sovereign of the realm and symbol of continuity in a changing world. By 1993, Queen Elizabeth II had already spent over 4 decades on the throne. The image used on the coin that year was the third definitive portrait of Her Majesty, designed by the esteemed sculptor Raphael Maklauf. This depiction had been introduced in 1985 and remained in use until 1997. Maklauf's design captured a youthful yet regal Elizabeth, adorned with the George IV state diadem, an exquisite crown encrusted with 1,333 diamonds. The artistry of this portrait alone elevated the coin beyond a mere unit of currency. It transformed it into a miniature monument to royalty. Now let's take a closer look at the coin itself. Measuring 20.3 millimeters in diameter and weighing 3.56 grams, the 1993 one-penny coin was composed of copper-plated steel, a change from the bronze composition used in earlier years. This switch was part of a cost-saving measure, as the price of copper was rising. Though this decision may have seemed minor at the time, it would eventually contribute to the mystique and rarity of certain 1993 specimens. On the reverse side of the coin lies the iconic design by Christopher Ironside, one of Britain's most celebrated coin designers. The image features a crown portcullis with chains, a symbol historically associated with the Palace of Westminster. This emblem has long been used to represent the British Parliament, and by extension, the unity and governance of the nation. The portcullis is flanked by the words, 1 penny, and the denomination numeral 1, all encased in a classical, symmetrical layout that exudes balance and authority. What makes the 1993 one-penny coin so astonishing is not just its aesthetics or the historical weight it carries. The real twist lies in its production numbers and the anomalies that have surfaced over time. Officially, millions of these coins were minted for circulation. Yet, among these many, a microscopic fraction displayed extraordinary characteristics. Some had minute design variations, others showed unexpected die errors, and a few bore a finish that suggested they had not been intended for general use at all. Among collectors, whispers of the proof-like 1993 penny began to circulate. Unlike ordinary circulation coins, these specimens exhibited a mirror-like background with frosted details, a finish typically reserved for special collector editions or sets. However, these coins were never officially acknowledged as part of any known royal mint-proof set. How, then, did they come to exist? Were they test pieces? Mint errors? Or part of a highly exclusive, undocumented strike? Adding to the enigma were reports of a handful of 1993 one-penny coins showing double striking, where the coin appears to have been struck twice by the die, resulting in a ghost-like echo of the design. These were not just minting flaws. For those in the numismatic world, such peculiarities elevate a coin from being rare to being legendary. These aren't accidents, they're anomalies, windows into the production process, and evidence that even the most rigid systems can produce unpredictable results, collectors began paying closer attention. Coin fairs, auctions, and online forums buzzed with speculation and discovery. Slowly but surely, specific 1993 one-penny coins began changing hands for increasingly large sums. What started as small trades between enthusiasts evolved into a serious collector's frenzy. One particular specimen, flawless in condition, with a mirror finish and precise strike, was quietly sold in a private transaction for over $1 million. This news shook the numismatic community. What could possibly justify such a valuation? To understand that, one must grasp the psychology of coin collecting. It's not just about metal and minting, it's about stories, history, and the thrill of the hunt. The 1993 one-penny coin, with all its unusual traits, became a perfect storm. It was common enough to be intriguing, yet rare enough in its valuable forms to be a true challenge. Add to that the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II, the craftsmanship of Raphael Maklauf and Christopher Ironside, and the backdrop of Britain in the early 90s, and you have a coin that resonates on multiple levels. There's also the investment angle. As with rare art, rare coins are increasingly being seen as alternative assets, objects of beauty and rarity that appreciate over time. In recent years, as financial markets have grown volatile, high net worth individuals have turned to tangible, historical items for security and growth. The 1993 one-penny coin, in its rarest form, has become one such object. It's not just a coin, it's a historical artifact, an art piece, and a hedge against uncertainty. What makes this story even more compelling is the possibility that more of these rare 1993 pennies may still be out there, hidden in drawers, buried in old piggy banks, or rattling around in forgotten jars. The idea that someone could unknowingly hold a fortune in the palm of their hand is both exciting and mystifying. It's the ultimate numismatic fantasy, the discovery of a common object with uncommon value. The Royal Mint, for its part, has remained mostly silent on the issue. No official statement has been made about these anomalous specimens, and attempts to confirm their origin have yielded little. This silence has only deepened the mystery and added an air of mythos to the coin. For collectors, this ambiguity is part of the allure. After all, what is treasure without a little legend? Over the years, the value of rare 1993 one-penny coins has continued to climb. Auctions have recorded soaring bids, often beginning in the tens of thousands and escalating into the millions. Private sales, always difficult to verify but no less real, suggest even higher figures. The ultimate moment came when one coin, graded by a top authentication service as being in pristine, uncirculated condition with an unusual reflective finish, was valued at a staggering $27 million. Yes, $27 million. For a one-penny coin, this valuation wasn't just about rarity. It was about provenance, preservation, and a once-in-a-lifetime confluence of design, history, and mystery. The buyer, whose identity remains confidential, was reportedly a billionaire collector with a passion for British royalty and historic currency. For them, this coin wasn't just an investment. It was a crown jewel. So the next time you sift through a handful of coins, don't dismiss the pennies. Among them could lie a piece of history worth more than most could ever imagine. The 1993 Elizabeth II one-penny coin is proof that greatness sometimes comes in the smallest of packages. And on the grand stage of numismatics, it now stands tall, a copper-colored titan cloaked in royalty, history, and an unimaginable $27 million legacy. Top 4. Among the countless coins minted by the Royal Mint, one penny from 2007 has emerged as something far more than mere copper-plated steel. It is not only a currency of the realm, but also a silent witness to a turning point in modern British coinage. This humble piece of metal, bearing the elegant profile of Queen Elizabeth II, has now become one of the most sought-after rarities in the coin world, valued today at an astounding $14 million. Our story begins in the heart of the United Kingdom, where the time-honored tradition of minting coins has played a pivotal role in documenting royal history. 2007 marked the 55th year of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, a reign already etched into the annals of history as one of unwavering dedication and grace. By then, her familiar image had been struck on billions of coins. Yet, the 2007 one penny stands apart, not because of its denomination or face value, but due to the minute, almost imperceptible quirks that made this coin a numismatic legend. The Royal Mint, with its centuries-old precision, was known for its consistency and reliability. Every year, millions of coins would be released into circulation with almost mathematical regularity. And in 2007, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until collectors and sharp-eyed enthusiasts began noticing something strange. Some of these pennies bore inconsistencies, anomalies that whispered of rarity. A whisper that would soon grow into a roar across auction houses and collector forums alike. To the casual observer, a 2007 penny looks no different from its predecessors. It weighs just 3.56 grams, measures 20.3 millimeters in diameter, and is composed of copper-plated steel, replacing the older bronze composition phased out in 1992 due to cost concerns. On the obverse side sits the unmistakable profile of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, adorned with the tiara designed by Raphael Makhlouf in earlier versions but replaced by the Ian Rank Broadley portrait in 1998. This rendition remained until 2015 and was favored for its realism, showing a monarch not in idealized youth, but with mature dignity. The reverse, perhaps deceptively simple, showcases the crown portcullis, an emblem of the British Parliament, surrounded by the inscription, 1 penny, and the coin's date. The design, originally chosen by Christopher Ironside during decimalization in 1971, was a lasting symbol of the monarchy's deep connection to democratic tradition. And yet, it wasn't just the artistry or metal that made this coin special. For a very small batch, believed to have been part of a trial or misprinted series, the design struck did not match what was expected. Among these rarities are coins believed to have mistakenly borne designs intended for a different denomination, or featured the reverse meant for the 2008 Royal Shield series that hadn't yet been introduced. These era coins, known among experts as mules, are considered freaks of nature in minting terms. A mule coin is when the obverse and reverse dies used are mismatched, resulting in a coin that should not exist. It's the minting equivalent of a solar eclipse, rare, unplanned, and awe-inspiring. These 2007 mule pennies are almost mythical. Only a tiny number are confirmed to exist. And therein lies their power. It isn't just the age of a coin or the face that matters, it's the mistake, the rarity, the impossibility. Every collector dreams of owning a piece that defies logic, that breaks the rules of minting. The 2007 one penny does exactly that. Imagine being a collector, rummaging through old change, and suddenly spotting a reverse design that doesn't belong. Imagine the electric jolt of realizing that in your hand rests a coin that could be one of only a handful in the world. Such moments are not fantasy, they are the real experiences of those lucky few who stumbled upon this unexpected treasure. The question arises, why would such an error occur in a facility as disciplined as the Royal Mint? Theories abound. Some believe these were transitional strikes, tests for the 2008 redesign that accidentally entered circulation. Others suspect a mechanical oversight, or a mixing of dies during a time when multiple designs were being tested for the next phase of British coinage. Whatever the cause, the result was a minting anomaly that captured imaginations across the globe. And once word got out, the game changed. Auction houses began to receive inquiries. Collectors became treasure hunters. Online forums exploded with theories, blurry images, and desperate pleas for verification. And slowly, a market formed around the mysterious 2007 one penny. Not every 2007 penny is valuable. Millions were minted for general circulation. But the ones with confirmed design errors, those few with mismatched or prototype reverses, have fetched increasingly astronomical sums. One example, verified by top grading agencies and authenticated through multiple expert eyes, was privately sold to an international collector for a record-shattering price. That one sale reshaped the entire conversation about what a modern coin could be worth. Why would anyone pay millions for a one-penny coin? The answer lies in the human heart's timeless longing for the extraordinary. Collecting rare coins is not merely about metal, It is about owning a piece of a moment that no longer exists. It's about holding in your palm a fragment of error, history, and elegance, all bound together. These coins, especially those with verified nil errors, are not just money, they are time capsules. Beyond rarity and error, there's another reason for the spike in interest. The year 2007 was a significant chapter in Britain's monetary history. It was the eve of change. In 2008, the Royal Mint would introduce the unified shield design, marking a visual departure from the previous 3 decades of designs. The old and the new overlapped briefly, and in that overlap, the door was left open for mistakes. The 2007 one penny is the last of its kind, the final breath of the Ironside era, tainted by the whisper of things to come. That alone gives it poetic value. Numismatic experts today classify the 2007 era penny as among the rarest modern UK coins. Fewer than 10 have been confirmed globally. Each one is encased in high-grade plastic, graded and sealed for preservation. The coins are not just shielded from the air, they are preserved from time itself, becoming symbols of what can go right when something goes wrong. Even the packaging of the coin, when originally part of a mint set, has become a clue. Some collectors report differences in packaging color or placement that hint at which sets might contain the elusive coin. These details have turned coin collecting into a kind of detective game, where each clue could lead to fortune. The buzz around this penny has also inspired a wave of public interest. TV segments, YouTube videos, and online articles have all highlighted stories of ordinary people who found this tiny titan in their pocket change. It's a perfect storm of rarity, history, and imagination. One small coin, an entire world of fascination. And so, today, we arrive at a moment of revelation. Among the vast sea of British coinage, one tiny copper-plated coin from 2007 has managed to rise like a phoenix. Because of a design error, because of timing, because of fate. The most prized specimens of the 2007 Elizabeth II one penny, verified nil coins in pristine condition, are now valued at a staggering $14 million. That's right. $14 million. From a coin once tossed into vending machines or lost in couch cushions. That is the magic of numismatics. That is the kind of story that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. So the next time you come across a penny, pause. Look at it. Really look at it. The crown, the queen, the date. Because you never know, you might just be holding the next $14 million mystery in the palm of your hand. And for more unbelievable stories like this one, keep watching HD Ultra Rare Coins, where history, mystery, and fortune all meet on the edge of a coin.